Unraveling the Enigma, a comprehensive examination of Donald Trump's presidency. President Donald Trump's tenure in office stands as a notable departure from the customary norms of American political leadership. His approach, characterized by a focus on transactional deals rather than diplomatic traditions or governance principles, draws upon the instincts of a New York businessman occupying the highest office of public service. His decision-making process, frequently perceived as erratic, can be better understood through the lens of deal-making, driven by intuition, opportunism, and a transactional mindset. In contrast to the technocratic and policy-oriented approaches prevalent among career politicians, Trump relies on what he refers to as common sense, a fusion of gut feelings, populist sentiments, and media-savvy tactics. His communication style, particularly on platforms such as Twitter, prioritizes impact, repetition, and emotional resonance rather than nuance or precision. While some may perceive this approach as potentially deceptive, Trump labels it as truthful hyperbole, a technique he has openly acknowledged employing in his business life to instill confidence or provoke a reaction. The implementation of tariffs exemplifies this unconventional methodology. Traditional economists advocate for consistency and predictability in trade policy. However, Trump viewed tariffs as bargaining chips, tools to exert pressure on adversaries and extract concessions rather than long-term fiscal strategies. This opportunistic utilization of policy levers mirrors the fluid pricing strategies employed in business negotiations, where the value of a product or deal fluctuates based on leverage, timing, and demand. Flexibility is another defining characteristic of his leadership. While he may occasionally appear rigid or dogmatic in his rhetoric, in practice, Trump has demonstrated a willingness to adjust his course, abandon allies, or contradict previous statements if he perceives a strategic advantage. This quality can be interpreted as adaptability, although critics may perceive it as inconsistency or a lack of principle. The primary obstacle to comprehending Donald Trump's actions may lie in his communication style. He employs ambiguity, simplification, and misdirection as tools for influence. His supporters interpret this as straightforward communication, while critics perceive it as manipulation or intellectual dishonesty. This dichotomy between the intended message and the perceived interpretation significantly contributes to the polarization surrounding his presidency. A more nuanced understanding of Trump's presidency requires examining it not through the lens of conventional politics, but rather through the lens of business and media strategy. His intuitive and improvisational approach, while captivating and frustrating depending on the observer's values and leadership expectations, has facilitated deep connections with certain segments of the population. However, it has also introduced novel risks to the institutions and norms of democratic governance. Consequently, comprehending Trump necessitates not only analyzing his actions, but also delving into the underlying motivations and strategies that drive them.